Hi, I'm Allison Hagendorf, and welcome to BottleRock Backstage with Butter. I am here with the living legend, Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins.
I see you've been hitting the wine.
I'm sorry. Guilty as charged. Guilty as charged. I have been here a long time today. You are my last interview of the day, Billy. First of all,
Well, drink up. Let's go. Come on.
last night's show at the Jam Cellars Ballroom.
Yeah. Were you there?
Well, of course I was there.
Oh.
I have seen you now 3 times in 6 months. Tonight will be the 4th. That's good, right? You're not impressed?
No, I'm impressed. A woman of your accomplishment and an opportunity. I mean, that's you could go anywhere.
Well, I'm a huge fan. And I will also tell you that everyone I've interviewed today has been a lot. I ask, who are you looking forward to? And every single artist had said the Smashing Pumpkins.
Well, that's very
Does
kind.
that make you feel good?
Nothing makes me feel good, but
But you know what made me feel good is seeing Starla kick off last night's set.
yes, we went a little old school last night. Starla Rocket, some
Starla into
vintage
Rocket
SP,
was-
yeah.
I posted a clip of you doing your incredible guitar solo from Starla, and I always talk about this, that a lot of people don't realize the virtuoso that you are.
Well, I don't know about virtuoso, but I started off I wanted to be like Yngwie Malmsteen and Randy Rhoads, so I was a shredder.
Right.
For the first few years, and then I didn't really want to be a singer. I ended up being a singer. Some people would say I'm still not a singer, but I got kind of lured into it by songwriting and sort of the opportunity of trying to figure out how to make a band mean something, and songwriting was the way that I figured out. So the guitar playing kind of got pushed aside. And then when the Pumpkins started putting out records and we had solos and stuff, everybody just assumed that I wasn't the guy playing all the solos because, it's like a two guitar band. Usually the singer doesn't play the leads.
Right.
So even to this day, people are surprised that I did, all that crazy guitar
Right.
work. So when they see us live, I think they're kind of like,
Yes.
oh, wow, okay, duh.
When I posted the video of you from last night, people were like losing their minds. Most people knew that you shred, but a lot of people were like, I didn't know that he can shred like that.
Yeah,
So it's
well, my
pretty
father
cool.
was a guitar player,
Yeah.
and a really good guitar player, better guitar player than I was or am, and so the standard when I started playing was so high. It wasn't like, oh, just play and you're indie good. Like you had to be really, really good in my house. So yeah, I had no choice, and my father would kind of walk past the bedroom, kind of make a face if I was playing poorly, So that had a lot to do with the way I play.
What about playing festivals? Because obviously you've played in every kind of, like last
Done 'em
night
all.
was an intimate club.
I've done 'em
Tonight's
all.
what's different about playing a festival?
Well, when I was young, I hated it because, you got treated poorly. And festivals back then were not as organized as they are now. And, we'd be on at 3 o'clock with the sun in our eyes. And, it just wasn't my rock dream. Now you have every advantage of modern organization. Festivals have certainly evolved, particularly in America, over the last 25 years. So what you really now appreciate, or at least I do, is that it's a cultural moment. It's sort of a way of saying, here's a snapshot of America 2023.
Yeah.
And if you look at the bill, Post Malone, Pumpkins, it's like, kind of makes sense. It's like there's room for everybody to be successful in their own way. Post Malone, obviously a huge star and a pop star, if that's even a fair way to put it. It's funny to call him a pop star. He doesn't look like a pop star. But a lot of people always said I didn't look like a rock star. But Pumpkins are successful in our own way by doing it a completely different way. And I think that's what's kind of cool about a festival. It gives different fans an opportunity maybe to sample other music that's culturally relevant without necessarily having to make a choice.
Yes.
Because most times in music, you almost feel like you got to make a choice.
Right. Another cool thing is that Autumn is being not just so well received, but people are loving the new music. And when you're playing it live, I'm sure you can see it because the reaction is just so engaged.
Yeah, it certainly helps to play a song that's in the charts as opposed to one that isn't in the charts and no one knows what you're playing. Feels good. I don't know. A lot of journalists have sort of encouraged me to sort of take like a victory lap, sort of thump my chest and say I told you so. I don't really feel that. I feel like, it's been good times and bad times, and now it's just a good time, and I'm happy it's a good time. But it's hard sometimes because the world is in such a kind of complicated place.
Right.
It doesn't feel like anything is simple. So even a good time still feels like, I'm not saying there's an asterisk next to it. I'm saying it's like hard because rock is so about fantasy and the moment. You know, whether it's Motley Crue in '82 on the Sunset Strip or something, it's about a moment and capturing that moment. You sing us last night. It's about capturing a moment. There's 35 years of the band history on stage in a small club, and it's like, there it is. And you can smell the '90s, and you can see where the band is today. But then you walk out the door, and it's like you're, you know, through your phone, you're assaulted. Like, did you see the latest outrage and the thing and and the war? And so it's hard sometimes to sort of have that separation, and particularly us as parents of small children. You know, you're sort of constantly always battling, you know, one foot in fantasy world and one foot in reality. If you can achieve that balance, it's a lot of fun. But I'm always mindful that there are a lot of people struggling, and so maybe that's why it doesn't feel great for me to run around and sort of thump my chest. I'm sort of more mindful there's a lot of people out there that are hurting, especially post-pandemic, a lot of children, young people, sorry, it's probably a better way to put it. So I don't know. I'm trying to put all those pieces together.
No,
in my way.
you're beautifully empathetic. I understand the compassion.
I'm a Pisces. It's the way we roll.
Yes. Are your children here?
No, they're not.
Oh.
No. My son had his first baseball game the other day.
Oh, it's such a big deal.
I missed it. And he's playing for the Cardinals. And, you know, if you know anything about the Cubs, that's our most hated team. So it's hard to watch my son wearing Cardinal red.
I'm sure that is hard, especially because your family is such a huge part of your life. They always come to your shows, or you guys are always together as a unit.
It's probably against some law somewhere, but they're required to work when they're on tour with me. They have to actually go on stage and dance. They have no choice. Yeah, I mean, I'd love them to be around things like this, but it's hard. Like we were all in home and then jump on a plane, come play a couple days, and then go right back. And it's very disruptive when you have small kids. You know, it's
for sure.
Childcare and all that stuff. So they'll come on the summer tour with the Pumpkins this year. They'll be on the World is a Vampire tour. There's your plug.
Yeah.
But they'll be on the bus, and that's fun times because they get really used to the the vibe of tour.
They're so cool. Like even just seeing them hang backstage, they're like, we got this. They belong. This is their life.
But they've grown up in that.
Yes.
I remember when my son was still in his crib, so that would have been about 5 years ago. We were playing the Staples Center or the Forum, in LA. Sold out show, big show, and there's my son in the crib throwing toys, you know.
Aww.
And I'm like, this is the contrast of your life now.
The juxtaposition.
Like, you're warming up, and there go the toys. Yeah.
But Billy, we are grateful for you. We're excited for the set tonight. The show last night was so special. I mean, everyone is feeling every note, every moment. It was a special night. Thank you as always.
Well, now you've lifted the bar so high. Now I have to. You're like my father. You've created a dynamic I can't escape from. Now I must excel. Well, it's Northern California.
Right.
So what do we know? A lot of people are going to be stoned.
Right. Lots of wine.
And they're very concerned about plastics.
That's true.
So I have to integrate that into my...
Sustainability is key.
You got me. You beat me in my own joke. You beat me on my own joke. It's so good.
The Allison and Billy Show up next.
Stay
tuned.
Thank you, Butter.
Thank you.